Life doesn't care about your feelings. The world will keep spinning whether you win or lose, whether you cry or get up. And in that brutal silence of reality, there's only one rule for success: never stop. Not when you're tired, not when you're broken, not when the odds are stacked so high that everyone else would have quit. This world bows only to those who keep moving forward when everything inside them screams to give up. You want to win? Then understand nobody is coming to save you. There's no rescue mission, no miracle, no shortcut. You must build yourself into the kind of person who refuses to be average. You don't rise by being soft, by feeling sorry for yourself, or by whining about how unfair life is. You rise because you outwork, outfight, and outlast. Your future doesn't care about your excuses. You either make progress or you stay stuck. Success is not a gift. It's a war. And if you don't have the fire to fight every day, life will chew you up and spit you out like you never mattered. So lock in, grind harder, break the limits, because the only rule that matters is this: never fucking quit. You wake up and you don't feel like doing it. You're tired, you're angry, you're anxious, maybe even heartbroken. But guess what? None of that matters. Your feelings are not a reason to stop. They are not a valid excuse. The world doesn't reward the person who felt like it. It rewards the one who did it anyway. Discipline beats emotion because emotions are temporary, impulsive, and fragile. One moment you're motivated, the next you're doubting yourself. One day you're on fire, the next you can't even get out of bed. If you live your life following your emotions, you will be a slave to your weakest moments. You'll start things and never finish. You'll talk big but achieve little. Because discipline is what drags you out of bed when your emotions tell you to stay down. Discipline is what puts you in the gym when your body says it's tired. Discipline is what keeps you working when you've already heard 100 no's. Every person who has achieved something great has done it by mastering their emotions, not eliminating them, but refusing to be ruled by them. Champions train when they're sore. Entrepreneurs build when they're broke. Fighters get up when they're bleeding. Why? Because their commitment is stronger than their comfort. Discipline is the ability to make decisions based on your goals, not your mood. It's what turns dreams into habits and habits into results. When you operate from discipline, you don't need motivation. You don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect conditions, or the perfect timing. You move forward regardless. That's power. That's control. That's freedom. The truth is, most people don't fail because they don't have talent. They fail because they lack discipline. They let fear win. They let laziness win. They let comfort win. But you have a choice. You can train your mind to obey you, not your impulses. Every time you act in spite of how you feel, you grow stronger. You build armor. You become the kind of person who can be trusted with success because you earned it through pain, through sacrifice, through absolute consistency. And in the end, the world gives its rewards not to the most emotional, not to the most passionate, but to the most disciplined. Because while emotions rise and fall like the tide, discipline holds the line. It's the one trait that will carry you through every storm, every failure, every setback. Feelings are fleeting. Action is forever. So stop waiting to feel right. Start doing what's right. Make discipline your default and watch how fast your life changes. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price you pay for transformation. Every ache, every struggle, every sleepless night, every moment you feel like you're breaking, it's not punishment, it's the process. Pain is the currency of greatness, and the people who rise to the top are the ones who are willing to pay it in full. You don't get strong by avoiding discomfort. You get strong by embracing it, by leaning into it, by looking it in the eye and saying, is that all you've got? Greatness doesn't come from comfort. It comes from the grind, from the moments when nobody's watching, when you have every reason to quit, and yet you choose to push forward. That's when champions are built. That's when legacies are made. Every struggle you go through is buying something. That early morning you dragged yourself out of bed when your body screamed to stay down, that bought you self-respect. That workout where your lungs burned and your muscles trembled, that bought you resilience. That job you worked while chasing your dreams at night, that bought you discipline. The heartbreaks, the losses, the betrayals, they all bought you wisdom. They all shaped you. So stop looking at pain like it's something to avoid. Start seeing it as the tuition you pay to become someone rare. You can't be exceptional without pain. You can't be elite without scars. You can't rise above the rest without going through something the rest were too soft to endure. People want success, but they don't want the suffering that comes with it. They want the crown, but not the battle. That's not how it works. You want to be great? Then you better be ready to bleed for it. You better be ready to suffer when nobody claps for you, when nobody believes in you, when everything feels like it's falling apart. That's the test. Life is asking you, do you really want this? And your answer can't just be words. It has to be action. It has to be persistence. It has to be walking through the fire without flinching, knowing that pain is temporary, but what you're building is forever. Most people run from pain, end up running from growth. But those who understand its value, they walk straight into the storm. They know that every setback, every failure, every ounce of discomfort is a payment. And one day when the results show up, when the body changes, when the bank account grows, when the respect comes in, when the dream becomes real, it won't be a surprise. Because they know they bought it. They paid the price when no one else was willing to. So remember this, nothing worth having comes cheap. If you want a life most people will never have, you have to endure what most people never will. And every drop of pain you feel today is buying you a tomorrow they'll never touch. Success doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care how inspired you feel on a Monday or how loud you talk about your goals. Success respects one thing above all else: consistency. Not hype, not motivation, just showing up every single day, especially when it's hard. Anyone can show up once. Anyone can try for a week or a month. But the ones who make it, the ones who build something unshakable, they keep showing up long after the excitement fades. They show up when they're tired. They show up when it's boring. They show up when it feels like nothing is working, because they know success isn't earned in big, flashy moments. It's earned in the quiet repetition, in the grind nobody sees, in the daily battles you win against laziness, doubt, and distraction. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates power. Every day you show up, you're stacking bricks. At first, nobody sees it. The results are invisible. But brick by brick, day by day, you're building something unbreakable. And one day, that wall stands so tall, people start calling you lucky. But it was never luck. It was consistency. It was doing the work when it wasn't fun, when there was no applause, when everything inside you told you to take the day off. You can't shortcut this. You can't fake it. Success doesn't respond to one-time effort. It responds to repeated effort. It's the person who trains every day that gets stronger. It's the one who writes every day that becomes a master. It's the one who builds every day that ends up with an empire. Consistency is what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Amateurs do things when they feel like it. Professionals do it because it needs to be done. And if you want to be at the top of anything, your craft, your career, your mindset, you need to operate like a professional. That means showing up even when your emotions are screaming no. That means having the discipline to act without needing a reason, beyond the fact that you made a promise to yourself. It's about integrity with your own goals. When you're consistent, you gain an advantage that most people never tap into: trust in yourself. You start to believe in your own power because you've proven it to yourself over and over. You stop needing motivation because you've turned the work into your default mode. And that's when everything changes. Because now, even on your worst day, you're still moving forward. And over time, that adds up to a life no one else can replicate. So don't chase results, chase consistency. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Train yourself to move regardless. Because if you can show up every day, no matter what, then success has no choice but to show up for you too. In the end, success doesn't belong to the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It belongs to the one who refused to quit, the one who kept showing up when it hurt, when it was hard, when nobody was watching. The one who chose discipline over distraction, pain over comfort, and consistency over chaos. Life will throw storms at you, test your limits, try to break you. But if you stand tall and keep moving, you become unstoppable. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You just need to remember who you are and what you're fighting for. The sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the battles no one else sees, they're not for nothing. Every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, every silent victory is building a version of you that cannot be denied. So don't stop, don't slow down, don't ever settle. You were not born to be average. You were built to rise. One rule, that's all it takes. One rule that separates the winners from the weak: never fecking quit. Keep going, keep grinding, keep showing the world what happens when a person refuses to be broken. Because your story isn't over. You're just getting started.